Well, I firmly believe that a Christian's portfolio should differ from a portfolio designed for someone who's not a follower of Jesus. Paul told the Roman church in chapter 14 of his letter to them that none of us lives for ourselves alone, and none of us dies for ourselves alone. If we live for the Lord, and if we die for the Lord. So whether we live or die, we belong to the Lord. If we belong to the Lord, then everything we call our own, including investments, actually belongs to the Lord. We should ask Him how He wants us to use those resources. All of us invest according to our core foundational beliefs, our worldview, whether we're aware of it or not. Most investors seek temporal gains focused on their own personal goals. A committed follower of Christ should also consider the eternal implications of their investments and invest differently than a person who has no interest in seeing God's kingdom advanced on earth. Kingdom-minded individuals desire to fulfill the Great Commission, seeing people know and follow Jesus. Christ followers also want to love God and their neighbor with their full heart, soul, mind, and strength in practice of the Great Commandment. When applied to investing, these same people will want to align their investments with those beliefs. Some Christians redesign their portfolio by eliminating investments that conflict with their core values. They screen out companies in the alcohol, tobacco, gambling, or weapons manufacturing industry, for example. This is called biblically responsible investing, or BRI. BRI is a good first step toward aligning your portfolio with God's values, but I believe that it's important that we not only screen out businesses that offend our values, but we also need to screen in businesses by including enterprises that proactively seek to achieve God's purposes as described above. This is a more complete and robust approach toward fulfilling God's purposes compared to the reactive approach of simply avoiding investments that we don't agree with. Together, both approaches achieve great eternal impact. But this can be hard to do. But I would lead a Christian client who wants to honor God and serve Him with their portfolio through 3 steps. My first step would be to ask specifically about their investing goals. If their goals fit the typical pattern, their answers will be focused primarily on themselves and not look much different from a non-Christian's answers. They'll include high financial return, minimal risk, and tax avoidance as major priorities. I'd ask these investors to consider aligning their investments with God's eternal purposes and to seek investments that proactively seek redemptive outcomes as well. Next, I'd ask them to consider their role as managers of God's portfolio, and if they'd be open to investing to achieve bottom lines in addition to just financial ones. These other bottom lines might include social, environmental, and spiritual outcomes that can emerge through businesses and business as mission investments. Such investments can provide a variety of benefits for many under-resourced communities, mirroring God's concern for the poor, the vulnerable, and the lost. Third, I would show them concrete examples of businesses which are bringing care for the poor, mercy for the hurting, and justice for the exploited. Investments into these businesses can become critical pieces of a complete investment portfolio. Through these steps, I would help a client to understand how investments can be used to fulfill God's intention to bring restoration to humankind while also providing financial return. The videos in this series will provide more in-depth answers and specific strategies for meeting these goals. If you'd like to learn more about how to invest for eternal impact, you can go to my website at thestewardinvestor.com. You can click on a link, Talk to an Advisor, if you'd like to schedule a face-to-face conversation.